Yo, it's your boy Burnard, and welcome to another episode of the Angry Blerd podcast, where I'll be discussing everything nerdy that has caught my eye this week, which really hasn't been a lot. So let's try to shoot for maybe 40 minutes or so for this episode. So let's talk about Superman for a minute. Don't recall if I brought it up last week. I probably didn't because it was such a small misnomer story, but last week James Gunn confirmed that Superman is 100% done. They put the finishing touches on some of the editing, and if you have a Prime account, you could have seen an advanced screening on the 8th. But that's come and gone. But let's talk about what's coming up. Michael Rosenbaum was doing an interview with Screen Rant. He was talking about his friendship with James Gunn. I almost said James Russell. I'm like, who the hell is James Russell? But he also revealed that he does have a cameo in Superman. He did some voice work for the movie. He didn't say what he did. I'm guessing he is one of the robots in the Fortress of Solitude. So there's that. And the second teaser trailer dropped. The final teaser. I don't do reactions for multiple trailers. So just watch it. It was actually pretty good. A lot of people are complaining about Gardner using his ring to project the middle finger, and I'm like, we need to bring gatekeeping back. I get it, superhero movies are for everybody, but they really shouldn't be for everybody, because Gardner is a dick, and that's something he would do in the comics. Like, I've literally been up in the middle of the night and just randomly go on Twitter and just my Twitter feed, people complaining about this. I'm like, tell me you've never read a Green Lantern comic featuring Gardner without telling me you've never read a Green Lantern comic. Like, people are even talking about how, James Gunn made Drax an idiot. Drax was an idiot up until maybe the mid 2000s. So go read some Golden Age, even early modern age comics. Drax ate an Infinity Stone because he thought it was a jelly bean. I'm sorry, we're going back to the original. Drax ate an Infinity Gem because he thought it was a jelly bean. But yeah, so I posted a picture. I don't remember what comic it was. I'm pretty sure it had to be Green Lantern Corps or something, because Doug Mankey was drawing it, but it could have been Green Lantern. Guy moons Batman. Literally pulls down his pants. He's outside in space and moons Batman, and above his ass it says "Bye bye Batman." And you know what Batman's response is to that is? He says someone needs to tell Guy he needs to shave. So it's gatekeeping might have to come back big time. Anyway, Superman, July 11th. What did I say the runtime was again? 2 hours and 9 minutes or something like that. 19 minutes. All right. Next DC story. So we are getting a Mr. Miracle animated series where Tom King, who wrote a Mr. Miracle mini about 2 years ago now, will serve as the showrunner for the series. So Deadline actually broke the news about this. Tom King, who is also producing Lanterns, will serve as the showrunner and executive producer for the Mr. Miracle series. It said while no release date or cast announcements have been coupled with the announcement, the show, which follows the anonymous DC character, will be based on it was 2017. Okay, based on the award-winning 2017 comic book series created by Tom King and artist Mitch Gerrits. According to the logline for the series, Scott Free, aka Mr. Miracle, is a renowned celebrity best known for being the greatest escape artist alive. His latest stunt is to see if he can escape death itself. Naturally, things go horribly wrong in Scott's perfect life he's built with his big, strong warrior wife, Big Barter. That thing being a war between their homeworlds of Apocalypse and New Genesis, thanks to Mr. Miracle's adopted father, Darkseid, seemingly finally getting his hands on the anti-life equation, a weapon granting him the power to rule over the universe. As mountains of bodies on both sides grow higher and higher, only Mr. Miracle can stop the slaughter and restore peace. But the terrible power of the anti-life equation may already be at work in his own mind, warping his reality, exposing his long-buried pain, and shattering the fragile happiness he found with the woman he loves. And so begins the odyssey of Scott Free, Mr. Miracle, a harrowing, hilarious, heart-wrenching journey across the pitfalls of the ordinary and extraordinary as the Son of God, raised by the devil, tries to save his family, his world, and maybe even himself. So that sounds like a good description. I really hope the artwork is good. I mean the animation. Because Warner Brothers animation has been hit or miss. Like Young Justice was good before they did their whole relaunch of the DC animated film universe. That art was good, but like this new DC art is like very line heavy, and I haven't been a fan of it since it started, like maybe like 6 years ago with Superman Man of Tomorrow. Like since that started, I think I've only bought like 1 or 2 movies that have been part of the new DC animated universe, and it was Superman Man of Tomorrow, and honestly that might be the only one. Now that I think about it, I didn't buy Batman, the Dune That Came to Gotham. I didn't buy the Crisis on Infinite Earths movies. I didn't buy the Catwoman movie. I didn't buy Gotham by Gaslight. Let me look and see what other animated movies they did. All right. DC animated universe. Okay, the Tomorrowverse. So I said the Tomorrowverse. Okay, here we go. Wait, okay, so they just keep taking me to the new 52, but whatever. Okay, here we go. So I own Superman Man of Tomorrow. I don't own Justice Society World War II. Don't own Batman The Long Halloween. Don't own Green Lantern Beware My Power, although I did see that one. Did I watch The Long Halloween? I don't even remember. Legions of Superheroes. I watched it, wasn't a fan of it. Didn't watch Justice League War World, and obviously, like I said before, I did not watch the Crisis on Infinite Earths 3 parts movies. Okay, let me rephrase that. I didn't finish. I watched the first one, but it was so boring. I was just like, oh, okay, yeah, no, I'm good. But, what are you gonna do? But yeah, James Gunn was speaking with Fandango when he said that superheroes have existed for at least the past 300 years. He said we're embracing a whole new world, which is a lot of fun. We're in an alternate reality where superheroes have existed for 300 years, and now we're just picking up the story of one particular superhero 3 years after he comes into the scene and happens to be the most powerful metahuman of them all. Also, a little small blurb, I'm just going to tag it on here. We're getting a sequel to Violent Night, according to Bloody Disgusting, which is a website that keeps up with like everything horror, and is scheduled for December 4th, 2026. So yeah, I'm down for that. Violent Night was very good, and I just hope that oh yeah, so yeah, let's go ahead and talk about it. So 87 North and Universal Pictures will release Violent Night December 4th, 2026. David Harbour confirmed his return, while Deadline reported that it was unclear if Tommy Wirkola will be back to direct the sequel. But apparently The Hollywood Reporter confirmed that he will be back. So Pat Casey and Josh Miller will be back to write Violent Night 2. Why those names? Didn't Pat Casey write Sonic the Hedgehog? I'm going on a tangent now, but I gotta look this up because this is one of those things that's... No, not that Pat Casey. I need Pat Casey, the writer, not the BMXer who died 2 years ago. I was right. He did write Sonic. And he wrote National Lampoon's Dorm Days 1 and 2. So yeah, Tommy Wirkola said there's a lot of stuff we left on the floor, like the North Pole, Mrs. Claus, and the elves. So I'm down to watch it. Like, we don't really get that many action Christmas movies. What, before Violent Night? Iron Man 3? And after Iron Man 3 was what? Die Hard 2? It's like, how many action Christmas movies are there? Not that many. Alright. Next story, small blurb, and I'll talk a little bit about fan casting. So, the Legend of Zelda movie has been delayed by 2 months. And everyone started to freak out. It was like, oh my god. So, the movie was originally supposed to come out March 26th of 2027, but now it will come out May 7th of 2027. So it looks like they're getting that summer window. Shigeru Miyamoto, who is, I believe, the president of Nintendo, released a statement. He said, for production's reasons, we are changing the release date to the live-action Legend of Zelda to May 7th, 2027. It will take some weeks later than the release timing we originally announced, and we will take the extra time to make the film as good as it can be. Thank you for your patience. So yeah, that's it. And everyone's like, oh my God, they don't know what they're doing. They're figuring it out. Plus, we still got a whole year and a half for them to shoot and whatnot. Plus, like I said, summer. So they're good. Especially since Avengers is no longer coming out that summer. It's coming out at the end of the year. Unless they push it back to May. But I don't think they're going to do that. Also, in the world of fan casting, everyone lost their shit when one of these scoopers, this is why I always say you don't trust the scoopers, that Hunter Schafer was being tapped to play Zelda. And I'm like, I can see that. And it would be fun to troll the incels who are like, Zelda's a girl. Why? I mean, yes, Hunter Schafer is trans, but Sheik also disguises as a man. If you've ever played Super Smash Brothers, I don't know what Legend of Zelda game it is because I don't really play Legend of Zelda games. Zelda has a disguise as Sheik, who is supposed to be a male ninja. But yeah, so that would have just been perfect casting. Plus, hey, Hunter got those pointy ears. Hunter kind of looks like an elf. If I can find the photo, I will actually post it as I'm talking about this. But it's like, yo, I don't care. I mean, because at the end of the day, everyone's taking roles from everyone. So I'm sick and tired of, we don't cast, gay people to play straight people. Did you not watch White Collar? Matt Bomer is gay. Also cast straight people to play gay people. Rami Malek played, I almost said Frankie Beverly. Freddie Mercury in the Queen movie. Taron Egerton played Elton John. Eddie Redmayne played a trans person and he played Stephen Hawking. So, anyway, next story. I'm going to talk about the Summer Games Fest and the things that caught my eye. Although, there really wasn't a lot. Well, first things first. Resident Evil 9 is officially titled Resident Evil Requiem. So, this is set to come out February 27th, 2026 on PS5, Xbox Series S, and PC. And it has been described as a shift in the series. They didn't give much detail besides that you can either play in first person or third person. And if you guys want to be generous, you can cash at me around that time so I can actually get this game for my birthday, because it literally comes out the day before my birthday. And I will probably clip this and archive it to come out on like the 20th or something like that. There was a prequel expansion to Lies of P. It's one of the games that Samir was talking about. It's a Souls-like. I'm not really a fan of Souls-like games, but Lies of P got an expansion called Lies of P Overture, which officially came out the day that the Summer Game Fest happened. So what, June 9th? All right. There's also a new Dying Light game coming out that's called Dying Light The Beast, and that will be out on August 22nd, and it is a standalone story that puts the characters back in the shoes of Kyle, who was in the Dying Light sequel that came out in 2022. I'm not sure how I feel about this one. Wu-Tang, Rise of the Deceiver. So this is looks like a weird chess game. It's based off of Afro surrealism and anime, so kind of like Afro Samurai, but with minus the surrealism. So it'll have classic Wu-Tang songs and music from Just Blaze. So the description is you and your friends will fight alongside the Wu-Tang Clan, calling on their powerful allies and timeless wisdom to restore Shaolin to a beacon of hope, community, and prosperity. I think I told you guys earlier this year about the new Onimusha game, Way of the Sword, but they dropped a gameplay trailer for that during Summer Game Fest. Game of Thrones game, which is coming out, so it's just like beat this franchise with a dead horse. War of Westeros is a strategy game that will let players take control of the great houses and even the Night King himself to raise your banners, rally iconic heroes, and conquer the Seven Kingdoms, solo or in free for all multiplayer. It's technically not free because you got to pay for PlayStation Plus, Xbox Live. The only thing that's really free is Steam. Arc Raiders is a game from Embark Studios that will be coming out on October 30th this year for all systems minus the Switch. But they didn't give any details. They just showed a release announcement trailer. We're actually getting a new Hitman game. Oh wait, yeah, it's called a Hitman World of Assassination, and it's called Le Sheriff Elusive Target. They didn't give a release date for that one, but I don't really play Hitman games. But for some reason, Mads Mikkelsen is in this game, playing Le Sheriff from Casino Royale. Scott Pilgrim. Netflix may have canceled the series, but guess what? We're getting a new game called Scott Pilgrim X. So this is a co-op brawler that kind of looks like the same type of side scroller that we got with the original Scott Pilgrim game that came out. Damn, when did that game come out? It was a while ago, but it was like a classic side scroller beat 'em up, like a la Double Dragon, Streets of Rage, Final Fight. Mortal Shell 2 will be getting released sometime next year. Also, there was a game, Square Enix. Why? They revealed a game called Killer N, which is a new team-based social deduction game that sees players dropped into a big mansion together. You will be split into teams of wolves and lambs, and the team of the wolves must murder all the lambs. And the twist is that the lambs don't know who their teammates are, and they need to discover who is trying to murder them and who is their friend. You know what that sounds like? That sounds like a fancy version of Among Us. I bet y'all get back to work on Kingdom Hearts 4, okay? Because Kingdom Hearts 3 came out in like 2018. We got like one little teaser, and you showed us some images during Summer Game Fest. It's like, fuck off. All right. They showed a trailer for Death Stranding 2 on the beach. Why? I don't know. The game literally comes out in like a week and a half. June 26th. Sonic Racing Cross Worlds. Samira's trying to get me to get this game. I don't really do racing games like that. Like, I think the last racing game that I actually bought was like Crash Team Racing. And I got it for cheap, for like $5, like off of an auction site that I use. Lego Voyagers was announced by Light Studio. No release date for this, but the good news is they are trying to bring back multiplayer split screen, playing in the same house on the couch together, like what Split Fiction is doing in It Takes Two. But yeah, that was pretty much it. If you have an Xbox and you want to go handheld, they did announce a deal with Asus. So there will be a Asus Xbox ROG Ally. And what the hell was that? Like, something just scared the shit out of me. I don't know what it was. Like, nothing like fell or anything like that. So it's just like, what was that? Seriously. Alright, I'm going to take a break. Y'all can listen to this ad for Dubby. I'm going to go get a bottle of water because I'm out of Dubby, and I'll be right back. This episode is brought to you by Dubby. Dubby gives you focus and energy without the crash and jitters. It has no sugar, fillers, or artificial dyes. Mix 1 packet or scoop into 8 or 12 ounces of water. Stir or shake well. Some powderiness is normal, and it has all the important vitamins. So this has vitamin C, B3, B6, and B12. And it's made from coffee fruit extract. So drink it and go conquer a task. And go to dubby.gg and use my promo code angryblerd10 at checkout to save 10% on your order. That's dubby.gg with promo code angryblerd10. Forgot to drink the water on the break, so sorry.
5 minutes later.
All right, let's go to the magical world of Harry Potter, and we got some more cast announcements. Yeah, my accent started to dip out, so let's go ahead and talk about it. So, Catherine Parkinson has been cast as Molly Weasley. Locke Pratt has been cast as Draco Malfoy. Johnny Flynn has been cast as Lucius Malfoy. Leo Early has been cast as Seamus Finnegan. I get it that they're supposed to be like 10 or 11, but this kid looks like he's like 6. Elisa Tony has been cast as Parvati Patil. Sienna Musa has been cast as Lavender Brown. Belle Poley has been cast as Patrina Dursley. Daniel Rigby has been cast as Vernon Dursley. And Bertie Carvel has been cast as Cornelius Fudge. So yeah, 9 new cast members to go on top of Harry, Ron, and Hermione, and Snape, Quirrell, McGonagall, Dumbledore, Hagrid, and I always forget the last person. Was it Filch? I want to say. So yeah, but like the kid who's going to be playing what's his name? Seamus. He just looks like he's like 12. I'm sorry, he just looks like he's like 6. That's usually why, like, you when you cast children, you go like about 2 to 3 years older than what they are. That's why you got a 20-year-old Tom Holland playing a 15-year-old Peter Parker, because just Google Tom Holland. He looks like he's like 8 at 15. All right. So yeah, still no release date on when the series will be coming out. Just those 9 cast members. So, update on Eyes of Wakanda. We know that the show will be 30 minutes long, and it's only going to be 4 episodes. So they actually told us the description of the first episode. Takes place in 1260 BC, and it deals with a Wakandan secret agent who is a disgraceful Malaji named Noni, who's played by Winnie Harrow, as she pursues a man by the moniker of the Lion, who is Chris Williams. Shout out to Black Lightning. So Lightning has defected from the Wakandan Guard in order to run a band of pirates, and has stolen technology from Wakanda to found his own kingdom. Noni finds him in Crete, where Lion's crew of pirates assembled from fighters from around the world are currently pillaging and enslaving the town. Okay, that's cool. So the show is animated in a graphic 3D style by Axis Animation Studio, full of exaggerated character design and 2D visual effects. The opening sequence is hand drawn by artists at AKA Studio. Harris is the showrunner. Did I say the name of the showrunner? I'll tell you. Sorry, Todd Harris. I'm sorry, he's the director of the episode. So he said there was a version of the show which had 2D montages, but due to time constraints, this was kept to the opening, intended to preserve that spirit. It's also a show to the nods. It's also a nod to the show's visual roots. So yeah, I can't wait to check this out. And like, some people are mad that they talked about an Iron Fist being in this show, and everyone was like, "Who is it? Is it Danny Rand?" It's like, it's an anthology show. I don't think they're going to get to the 2000s of like where Danny Rand would be. So we might even see Ursula Randall, but we're not going to see Danny Rand or Lin Lai, or is it Lin Lee? I can never remember. So yeah, I think that's all the news I have before I get into my review of Ballerina. So yeah, guys, like I said, very slow week. So let's go ahead and cue up the spoiler alert. I am going to be talking about From the World of John Wick, Ballerina, directed by Len Wiseman, who is known for directing the Underworld movies, Live Free or Die Hard, and the 2012 remake of Total Recall, which I like. It's on the shelf. Written by Shay Hatton, who worked on John Wick 3, Chapter 3 Parabellum, Army of the Dead, Army of Thieves, John Wick Chapter 4, Rebel Moon, and Rebel Moon Part 2. So yeah, Shay, you kind of lost me with the Rebel Moon stuff, because that first movie was not good. Alright. Stars Ana de Armas, Angelica Houston, Gabriel Byrne, Lance Reddick, Dawn Mauritis, Ian McShane, and Keanu Reeves. We start with a flashback of a young Eve Macaro, who is the daughter of 2 assassins, Javier of the Rosca Roma and his unnamed cultist's wife. Javier ran away from the cult and took Eve with him so that she can have a normal life, but the cult chancellor seeks to retrieve Eve, so they catch up with them, have a shootout. Unfortunately, Javier dies. Eve is now an orphan who is taken by the police, and Winston brings Eve to the Roscaroma, where she meets with the director, who gives her a choice to have somewhat of a normal life, or she can join the Roscaroma. And over the next 12 years, Eve trains as a ballerina and an assassin under the director and Nogi. And then at one point, we start to bleed over into the events of John Wick Chapter 3, Parabellum, because this is a side sequel. So this is a movie that is happening in conjunction with the events of John Wick Chapter 3. Eve actually meets John, and she's like, how do you leave? And he was like, the door is right there. You can go out anytime you want to. But Eve decides to stay, and she trains to the point where she gets her first assignment, which is to protect a heiress by the name of Katia Park, which she does, although she did get her ass kicked a little bit. 2 months later, after completing a contract, Eve is attacked by an assassin whom she identifies as someone from the cult that killed her father, because they all have a brand of an X on their wrists. She asks the director about it. The director tells her to drop it. But Eve disobeys the director and goes to the New York Continental, where Sharon greets her. And she goes to meet Winston, who she asks about the cult. Winston revealed that one of the cultists by the name of Daniel Pine is staying at the Prague Continental and has a large bounty on him. And if you remember the rules of the Continental, you cannot conduct business on Continental grounds. So Eve travels to Prague, books a room right next to Daniel Pine's. I believe Pine's was 314 and she got 313. She sneaks into his room where she meets his daughter Ella, who Pine, played by Norman Reedus, has revealed that he is hiding his daughter from Eve. The cult increases the bounty on Pine's head to get some assassins trigger happy, and they start shooting out in the Continental. Eve does not do that, but she does defend herself. Eve helps Pine and Ella get out of the Continental, but they get ambushed. They knock out Eve and Daniel Pine and take Ella. So Eve is then taken back to the Continental with 2 of the assassins, and she tells them, I didn't start this. I was just defending myself. They killed the 2 other assassins. Basically tell Eve to kick rocks. Alright? Eve goes to buy weapons from an arm dealer, Frank, but they get attacked by some cultists. Eve kills all of them. Frank helps her narrows down the location of the cult space and even gives her transport. And so that leads Eve to Hellstadt, which is a small town in Austria. This is actually a real city. All right. And it turns out everybody in the city is a part of the cult. So it's not just select members. That's just basically where assassins go to raise families. So Eve has to basically fight her way to the chancellor. And the chancellor actually calls the director, tells her, you're like, yo, one of your girls went rogue. She's like, yo, there's nothing I can do about it. He's like, well, if you don't do something about it, we're going to war. So the director calls John Wick in, who is missing his finger, because like I said, this movie takes place alongside Chapter 3, Parabellum. If you go back and watch Parabellum, John chops off one of his fingers as tribute to the High Table. So John tells Eve, leave the city, okay? You have until midnight to leave the city. And she's like, I can't do it. He killed my father. He killed my sister, so on and so forth. Then John kind of relates, because John's back in this business because they killed his wife's dog, the dog that his wife gave him, and stole his car. So he's like, you got until midnight. After that, you're screwed. So Eve basically wrecks the whole town, catches up with the director, but also Eve reunites with her sister, who she thought was dead, but the chancellor ends up killing her by sending the rest of the cult in to bomb a house that they were in. She kills the chancellor, takes Ella back to her father, and goes about her life. the director tells Eve that basically she is no longer a part of the Roscarama, and the rest of the cult has put a 5 million bounty on Eve while she watches her friend's ballet's performance. Eve gets a notification on her phone about the bounty and leaves the theater. So yeah, thoughts on this movie. All in all, I liked it. If you didn't watch John Wick Chapter 3 Parabellum, there might be a few things you might have missed, but you can also listen to, you can get a synopsis or a quick rundown on YouTube about the events that happened in Chapter 3 Parabellum. So, there were a few reshoots on this movie, and it seems like it was only the beginning, so like everyone's like, oh my god, reshoots are never a good thing. It's just like, sometimes you just gotta flesh stuff out. And at first I thought maybe it was like Keanu wanted to do a little bit more, because there is a scene where John is in Hellstat and just wreck shit. But that's not the case. They just fleshed out the beginning a little bit more. Ana de Armas did a good job. On a scale of 1 to 10, I will give this movie an 8. Like I said, I liked it, but I went into this movie, I did not rewatch John Wick Chapter 3 Parabellum. So I went into it blind. I forgot a lot of the things that happened in John Wick Chapter 3 Parabellum, because that movie came out 6 years ago in 2019. Yeah, so set between that and Chapter 4. But yeah, I saw the movie. I highly recommend you go check it out, but rewatch Parabellum before you do. There was one little nitpick that I heard on a podcast that did a review of it. I forgot that the director gets stabbed in the hand for helping John. So when John is missing his finger, she is supposed to have a big knife wound in her hand, but she doesn't. So that's my little nitpick. But yeah, all in all, very good movie. Check it out. Gotta support this if we're gonna get the Kane movie, because the box office right now is at $60.9 million with a budget of $90 million. So we need at least 190 to keep the John Wick franchise alive. Anyway, guys, that was another episode of the Angry Blerd podcast. Be sure to rate, review, subscribe, tell a friend to tell a friend. Go to w.gg, use the promo code AngryBlerd10 at checkout. Sorry this episode was so short. I did not get to comic previews because I didn't get a chance to look at them yet. So that will be included in next week's episode. I know I usually do it like at the beginning of the month, but like the second week of the month, but I didn't get a chance to get to it. Anyway, I'll see y'all later. Peace.